This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
All right, hello. How's it going, guys? So this is our first video since I've basically said, hey, I'm done. And what are we talking about today? Well, I'm talking about Pokemon cards. Obviously, shout out to the sponsor. They kind of help pay for these, kind of. Yeah. So if you didn't know, if you're a fan of this channel, you probably do know, but I have been collecting cards since literally forever, and this is the year where I'm finally selling some of these cards. Kind of want to talk to you guys about why I'm doing this and how I feel about it, why, and obviously I want to ask what you guys think, but let's just start from the beginning, shall we? So I have just been collecting cards like it is, going out of style. Every single set, I buy a ton of the product. Sometimes I'll even do eBay auctions or whatever other things are just selling random things. Like I'll just buy whatever. I'm like, that's a good deal. I'm buying it. And this year alone, I was like, wow, I have a lot of Pokemon cards. I think if I were to do a stock check, it is an absurd amount of cards, and to the point where it was hard to display all of them. And I don't remember what video I saw, but it was like, you should condense your collection. You know what it might have been, actually? I think it was PewDiePie. PewDiePie, he moved to Tokyo, Japan, and he apparently used to have a ton of collectibles, but then got rid of all of them except his favorite ones, which were a couple of Gundams, and some of them are like his and some of the items he had were from his favorite artists, and just it was like a condensed collection. And I really liked that idea because having clutter and all of these collectibles is cool, but at some point there's a point where it's like, okay, there's so much that I can't really appreciate some of these pieces. So my thought process is, look, I have thousands and thousands of Pokemon cards. Why don't I just condense it so it is just my absolute favorite cards, and I can actually sell some of these cards to people who would want them for their perfect collections. So I became a reseller. I opened up a store. I'm not going to say where I sell these things just because I want to keep it totally anonymous, because, just for my safety, and also I don't want people to, I don't know. It just feels better that way to keep a shop anonymous. So don't ask. But if you want to sell me your cards, you can send a DM to me on Twitter or Instagram. Maybe I'll buy your collection. Who knows? We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, so I started getting cards graded that I had here that I've always wanted to get graded. And then, basically I sell the cards that I don't really want anymore. And I have since then started buying more cards. I know that doesn't make sense, right? Like I'm buying more cards, but I'm actually buying stuff for a collection that I've always wanted to get, which is my favorite artist in the Pokemon card community, I guess, is Yuka Mori. And she makes these cards here. The Pokemon are made out of this like clay Play-Doh material, and I love them. They're my absolute favorite. Ever since I was a kid, they were my absolute favorite. So I've been getting all of these cards graded at high grades because they're just my favorite. I don't know. And obviously I have some really rare ones here, like the Mario and Luigi Pikachu, some of the full arts from like Crown Zenith, Charizards, gotta keep some Charizards, base set cards graded. And I love base set, but like I'd rather just have a binder of a full base set than, a bunch of holos graded, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's sort of been the plan. And, in the future, what I'll be doing is, selling off a bunch of my other stuff, like any bulk cards I have, any other cards I've got, I can get rid of them and use any of the money I get from these cards to buy more cards. Just so you know, all of this money that I get is literally to buy more cards. It's a snake. It's snake eating its own head, I think. Is that the thing? Is that the term? Like, it's just continuous cycle of buying cards and selling cards to buy more cards. Eventually we'll get the perfect collection and I'll be done. But it almost felt weird to sell cards because I know resellers have a bad reputation, which I always thought was weird. But it's fine. I don't know. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about this and why I've been yapping for 5 minutes is how do you guys feel about reselling cards? Do you think it's like a bad practice? Do you think it's kind of gross? Do you think whatever? I don't care. I only bring this up because I want to tell you guys a story, and that is a story I tell people as a don't do this thing. So now before I tell this story, I do want to talk about the sponsor of the day, and that is Squarespace. And it's actually perfect because I can talk about running a store on Squarespace. If I were to actually open up a Pokemon store through squarespace.com, well, I've got that covered and it's super easy and blah, blah, blah. So right away, why I say that is because if I were to sell any of these cards, Squarespace is an awesome website to use to actually create your very own marketplace. You don't have to deal with the hassle of using a middleman website like eBay, Amazon, or whatever, because I can customize this to look like my very own store, which is awesome. Because if you want to check out these stats for your website, if it's not even a shop, you've got a portfolio, you want to show off art, anything you can think of, you can do it. You've got stats, so you can track visitors, you can see how people interact with your website, and so much more. And not only that, but you might be thinking, Alex, I have no idea how to create myself a website. Well, don't you worry, because Squarespace has amazing templates and tools to make it look like you're an absolute pro. So don't even stress about that. People will look at your website and think you are like a professional, when in reality, Squarespace has made it so easy for your website to look clean and also work on any device, whether it's mobile, PC, you name it, it's gonna work and it's gonna look great. Even at this point, if you have any trouble at all, Squarespace is happy to help you with 24/7 support with their support team to help you out along the way. So what are you guys waiting for, guys? If you want to create your very own website, whether it's a shop, you want to show off your brand, portfolio, or anything you can think of, Squarespace is the place to go. Make sure to go to squarespace.com/AlxAce. Go to squarespace.com and make sure to use my code AlxAce for 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Last year I was in Japan. My favorite anime, or manga I should say, Berserk, was having a pop-up shop where they were selling really cool prints, clothing, whatever it was, and there was a limited amount. I went in there, obviously I bought 2 prints. There were 2 different ones. I bought 1 of each, and I was happy. I was content with that. But there was someone in line. There was 2 people in line in front of me. Some American tourists, you can tell. Don't ask me how, you can tell. And they had a stack of 100 of them each. So they had 200 prints in their hands. And I you can see where I'm going with this. They are clearly there to resell all of these prints because you can't buy them anywhere else. You can't buy them online. You cannot buy them no matter where you are. You can only buy them from this shop in Japan. So if you're a fan in Europe, America, you're out of luck. So in my eyes, I feel like that sucks. I don't know. For people who live there, like clearly there will be fans who, obviously Berserk is very popular in Japan. There will be fans that live there who go to the shop and all of these prints are just gone because tourists have come to buy in bulk hundreds of them to resell them online for profit. So to me, it just felt a bit gross. I don't know why. I guess in my eyes, that's what I think. It's like, okay, we're taking this away from people who live there. I guess in some defenses, you can be like, well, what if Americans want them? You know, what if Europeans want them? And it's just like, well, I guess, but like, I don't know. It's a weird one because that's just, they're doing it for profit. You know what I mean? And like people can be like, well, you're selling cards for profit. I'm like, well, I guess, but they were my collection. You know what I mean? Like I bought these cards myself. Like I don't know. It's a weird game of who's the bad person. And it's kind of why I wanted to bring up, and talk about it. I want to hear what you guys think. Is there no whatever, game's the game, or I don't know. It's just something I thought was interesting. So I don't know. I'll never be that person. I know it exists even here in the States. I've seen it happen in person where I've gone to Costco buying some groceries, and they had these Pokemon packs. It was like a tin and an ETB going for $70. I think if you were to get that exact deal at like Target or Walmart or something, it'd be like $120. So really great deal. And of course, I just see 2 big dudes just grab a pallet of them, basically like $1,000 worth of them, and I'm like, okay, they're reselling these. obviously. And to me, it's like anytime I buy product in stores, I always just buy one, maybe two if I'm at a card store, dedicated card store. But at like a Target or a Walmart, I just buy one ETB or one pack or whatever. I don't buy 45 packs and clear the stock out for the week. You know, that feels scummy, because growing up as a kid, you go to the grocery store with your parents, you get one pack. That's all you get, in my case at least. And that was, you know, that's my main reason why I don't do that. Just wanted to hear what you guys think about these sort of things, and kind of why I'm making this video in the first place, because I'm selling my whole collection. At first, I felt a little guilty about it, but at the same time, I have gotten, you know, I feel like a lot of the people who are buying the cards that I'm selling will get more appreciation out of them than I will. And if I can make a little bit of money on that, cool, why not? Everybody wins, you know what I mean? Because I don't sell at ridiculous prices. I sell usually below market value. Anyways, I'm going to stop yapping. A quick shout out, obviously, again, to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. They are amazing. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think. And if you ever want me to do some more actual Pokemon openings, or just show you what it's like to actually grade these cards, or what the process is like to run a store, let me know in the comments. But I'll see you in the next one. The next video is going to have nothing to do with Pokemon. Probably going to be about mental health. So we are covering everything. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.